welcome back to another video. I'm sure as you saw by the title, today we are going to be talking about the original Final Fantasy VII. Yep, just Final Fantasy VII, not the remake that everyone continues to talk and praise about, even though from the trailers it looks pretty damn good. But let me see some gameplay first and then I'll give you my opinion. As good as the original Final Fantasy VII was, it still had its fair share of flaws, just like most games. And to be honest, a lot would even consider the game to be decent rather than good. There's actually a good amount of fans out there who think that the game is overrated, and that people only liked it because it was all they had back then. It was all they knew. Rather than it actually being a good game, they think people liked it for the sake of nostalgia alone. Why do they say this? Why do they criticize the game that made our childhoods? Or your childhoods? I'm actually pretty young. Why do they criticize the game that helped set the standards for its generation of RPGs as it is today? Well, that's why I'm here, my friends, to explain exactly what those flaws are and why a lot of people didn't like or thought they were decent. So with that being said, let's get on to the topics at hand. 3 things the original Final Fantasy VII failed at. The story is kind of hard to follow, especially for new beginners who have just started playing. The story will make you think it's one way, and just when you think you finally got the gist of it, boom, plot twist, there's something else that you never expected. And that's not really their fault considering there's 6 other games out there. But then again, the Final Fantasy VII is its own origin story, right? I guess it is. And that sucks. The story is way too complex for me to explain in the slightest. It took me long enough to understand this weekend, and I still don't know about the gist of it yet. However, if you guys are interested in learning the entire story, then there's a link in the description I put below to a channel called Zygor Gaming. He does a really good job in explaining it. And he's very in-depth and thorough, so if you're interested in learning the entire story from beginning to end, I would definitely recommend you watch him. But that's only if you're interested in watching that channel. If you're not, keep your asses right here. In any case, the Final Fantasy series is known for letting some things left unsaid. Also, the game doesn't really take itself too seriously a lot of the times, and I think that's what a lot of fans are concerned for in the remake. The story works a lot of the time because the game just gets on with it in terms and doesn't stop to say, look how intelligent we are, which is what they might try to do in the remake. If they try to give a good excuse for everything and anything, that might ruin what fans might have theorized, or just might, leave that nostalgic feeling that there's still a mystery out there floating in the game. Might ruin both of those things for fans, and that's something they definitely wouldn't want to see. The Final Fantasy game series' difficulty usually changes with each new game. It somehow always tries to do something new while keeping similar aspects of the game the same. However, in this adaptation, it seems to have gone down a pretty easy linear. Most fans say that it's one of the easiest Final Fantasies you can get, and you can complete the game without grinding at all. As long as you don't run and use your material wisely, you're good to go. And if you do manage to grind, then it's just that much easier. That is not to say that the game is a complete walkthrough though. Excluding the main storyline, the game has its moments, especially when you encounter the weapons, or called the weapon, or powerful monsters of the world of Final Fantasy VII, created to defeat Gianova and protect the planet. But as far as difficulty goes, this is mostly a problem veterans run into. People who've played the game before, and when they come back to play it again, it's a lot easier. So that kind of ruins the replayability value of the game in that sense. But this is also something that a lot of other people experience firsthand, especially if they played a game like Dark Souls or Bloodborne. So hopefully they can definitely fix this error and problem in the remake. Final Fantasy VII has a ton of minigames, and most, if not all of them, are complete garbage. There are a lot of big minigames, and the theme on how they relay the minigames are bad, with its bad controls and its bad implementation, and taking long enough to wear out their already limited welcome. The various minigames are stuff like sneaking past guards, which would be fine if it was just you, but considering the fact that your other 3 party members are alongside you, and they have to sneak past the guards as well, kinda sorta makes you want to throw your TV out the window. There are games like breathing air into a child's lungs, or jumping off a dolphin, or marching into a parade, and even arm wrestling, which is pretty fine. I don't mind arm wrestling. But that's just a fraction of them all, and these would be a lot less stressful if they gave you the option to do them and not. However, most of them are part of the main plot, so sadly, you'll have to do them whether you like to or not. As far as side quests go, the lack of true side quests in this game is disappointing. The side quests in Final Fantasy VII mostly revolve around Chocobo breeding, along with the minigames I just explained and a few other optional bosses. People often complain about this and compare games like Chrono Trigger and the Final Fantasy VI as better replacements. Well, those are the three complaints you'll often or only see when you read about the Final Fantasy VII. There are some fans who consider what I just said to be perfect, but I feel if you truly love the game and you have respect for it, you should criticize it, and you'll have no problem criticizing it, because it will make the game better in the future. In any case, with the remake coming out in just a couple of months away, they have an opportunity to fix everything I just said, or they could jeopardize their most prized possession, but from the trailers we've seen, it looks like they'll do the first. And if you guys agree or do not agree with the complaints I had just said, then feel free to comment your own complaints, opinions, or whatever you have to say below, because I would love to read them all. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, please feel free to like and subscribe. It would most certainly make my day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till next time.